What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, January 18th. My name is Ewan. And on today's episode, we're going to get into some Fantasy Premier League with a chip strategy preview. So, no game week preview. We're right in the middle of game week 21 right now. Thursday, January 18th, just in case any news breaks over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully, this will be some evergreen content until the next couple of weeks come by, and then I will do another chip strategy video as well. But we're going to get right into it here. Daddy or chips, that's a little bit of a dated reference. If you lived in the UK in the 90s, you'll probably remember that commercial. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about chips, lots of them. So let's get into it a little bit more. Before we start my kind of analysis, what I would say is the two gurus of chip strategy are Ben Krellin and James from Planet FPL Pod. Follow them on Twitter for all your chip strategy needs. They are fantastic resources. They have phenomenal insight and just are very good at predicting when these double game weeks are going to drop, blank game weeks, all this sort of stuff. So I would definitely follow them on X. Also, the Planet FPL duo of Susan James, they have already done a chip strategy special. Uh, Fantastic resource. I listened to it before I did this episode. They are supposed to drop another one in the next couple of weeks as well, once we get more info. So I'll definitely be listening to that as well before I come back on here with a second chip strategy preview episode. Here is Ben Krellin's ticker. You can find this on X as well, where he readily updates it. Fantastic resource. It's got all the FA Cup games, League Cup games, Champions League, UEFA, Europa League, Europa Conference League, just anything you could possibly want. Has the key up there that is very handy. So I would certainly go on there as well. Another fantastic resource that Ben offers kind of for free on X. You can pay for the premium version on Fantasy Football Hub, which is also well worth it. And yeah, he will update this all the way through the end of the season. And yeah, it's definitely one of my go-to resources if I'm trying to plan out my chip strategy for the rest of the season. So what will we learn before game week 22? We're currently in the middle of game week 21, but there is so much we're going to find out before game week 22. I did a TikTok yesterday on the top 5 reasons why you should not make your early transfers in before game week 22. And these were the 5 reasons. So next week, we're going to figure out who is in the Carabao Cup final. Middlesbrough currently lead Chelsea 1-0. Liverpool lead Fulham 2-1. So if Chelsea and Liverpool make the final, they will blank. If Fulham makes the final, they will blank. If Chelsea also make the final, they that will cause a blank with Tottenham. So those are fairly popular FPL assets that we will have to look forward to and maybe plan that around here. January 25th through the 29th, we're going to get the FA Cup fourth round results. So all the Premier League teams that are still in the competition will have played. We'll find out the FA Cup fifth round draw as well. So who's going to be playing who, and that will set up what the potential blanks for game week 29 are going to look like. So that's going to be another thing in your long-term planning that you'll have to think about. There's potentially a blank in game week 26 for 3 to 4 FPL teams or Premier League teams, and then there's another blank game week in game week 29. So definitely something to think about there. As for the international side of the ball, we've got the AFCON quarterfinals. So 6 of the 8 teams will have qualified for the quarterfinals there. So we'll know if Mohamed Salah has progressed, if we're going to expect him back for game week 22 or 23, that kind of thing. And then the same in the Asia Cup. Only 4 of the 8 teams will have qualified for the quarterfinals before the game week 22 deadline, which is going to be Tuesday, January 30th. But something to keep an eye on. This is a ton of information that we're going to learn between now and game week 22 because game week 21 is so long. Don't make those early transfers. Otherwise, you could potentially be taking hits to bring out people you just transferred in. Not going to be fun use of wasting your precious FPL points this year. Here is the FA Cup fourth round draw. So all the replays got taken place on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Nottingham Forest advanced past Blackpool. Everton got past Crystal Palace. Wolves advanced. West Ham lost as well. So No luck for the Hammers there. But here are all the Premier League ties or ties involving Premier League teams. We've got Bournemouth, Swansea starting on Thursday, Chelsea, Aston Villa, which is a big one, as that will potentially cause multiple blanks or kind of confirm games throughout in game week 29. So definitely be watching that one. Bristol City versus Nottingham Forest, Spurs, Man City, another big one. Everton versus Luton, Sheffield United, Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle, West Ham, Wolves, Liverpool versus Norwich, and Newport County versus Man United. So, out of these teams, you'd expect Bournemouth to progress. You'd expect Nottingham Forest to progress, although they made tough work of Blackpool last night. Uh, Wolves over West Brom, we're just going Premier League teams, Liverpool over Norwich, Man United over Newport. So that's a few teams that should advance. Chelsea, Aston Villa is a coin flip. Man City always kind of struggle against Spurs. So certainly a lot to watch. That's why you have to hold off on those game week 22 transfers, because it is going to be very important to know who is going to be playing in game week 29 and who is not. Here is losers. I have losers on X. Will, he's kind of predicting the blank game weeks in game week 29, the double game weeks in game week 34, and another double game week in game week 37. These are kind of loosey goosey numbers. He says that himself on X, but as you can see, he's predicting about 4.9, so 5 fixtures in game week 29, so 5 blanks. Game week 34, he's expecting 2 to 3 extra games. In game week 37, he's expecting 3 extra games as well. So definitely gonna have to keep an eye on that as well. He updates this all the time. Make sure to follow him on X. The weeks to watch as we kind of get into the chip strategy portion of today's episode. So I've highlighted 7 game weeks here that we should kind of be having in the back of our minds, thinking about our chip strategy, what to kind of consider, when to attack, when to kind of space them out over the next kind of 17 game weeks, as it were. So, game week 25, Man City and Brentford have a confirmed double game week, and it does sound like Liverpool are going to have a double game week as well against Luton and Brentford. So, look out for that announcement if that comes out in the next few days. Game week 26 is a blank game week, as 2 of the teams will be in the Carabao Cup final. So, that will cause a blank for some Premier League teams. Game week 29 is the big blank game week here with the FA Cup quarterfinals. Game week 31 is a little, on the fence here, but it's the weekend after Man City and Arsenal play, and they do both have good run-ins for the rest of the season. So if you wanted to avoid Man City and Arsenal assets when they play each other, you could potentially wild card in game week 31 and kind of have them for the remainder of the season. Game week 33 is the week before a big double game week, so that's probably going to be the most popular weekend to wildcard, as you can set yourself up for a bench boost there. Game week 34 is a double game week and probably a blank game week as well, with the FA Cup semifinals, and game week 37 is going to be another big double game week. So lots of stuff to consider here. I have broken it down into kind of 4 strategies that I'm kind of considering at this moment. Like I said, again, it's Thursday, January 18th. So this is probably going to change quite a lot, but just kind of wanted to get it out there and get my thoughts on video. So here is what I would call the defensive way to use your chips. So game week 25, use your triple captain, Mohamed Salah, Erling Haaland. That's kind of going to be the sensible as well. I have another strategy called sensible, but triple captain in game week 25 with Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland as the 2 most popular captaincy options, assuming Salah comes back fit from AFCON, assuming Haaland has shown us something since then. He still has not played since game week 16 against Aston Villa. Game week 29 will be the free hit. You just kind of cover off the blanks there. You don't even have to deal with any of your potential high scoring players not having a fixture if they advance to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. You can just use your free hit, not worry about it. Game week 34 would be the wild card. So you could kind of set yourself up with 11 doublers and guys with good fixtures over the final 4 to 5 game weeks of the season. And then in game week 37, you would use your bench boost because that's kind of close to your wild card. You can potentially still have people in there who have double game weeks. So, and you can still have free transfers in 35, 36, and 37 to even kind of force yourself to have some doublers on your bench or even players with good fixtures in a single game week. So that's kind of the defensive way to use your chips, in my opinion. The sensible way is again game week 25, triple captains. Probably not going to be a better opportunity this season than Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland with two fixtures. Game week 33, use your wild cards, set yourself up there. Game week 34, bench boost with the doublers. Potentially could have 15 doublers, I guess, if you could set your wild card up correctly there, but you also want to give yourself a strong way to uh, attack the rest of the season as well. This does mean that you are exposed in game week 29 to blank fixtures, but I prefer to use my free hit in a double game week, and that's what I would do in game week 37 with the free hit there. There is the potential for rotation risk. There could be like the league could be wrapped up, teams could be relegated. There could be teams prioritizing European competitions, FA Cup competitions. So that is another dangerous part of this strategy. Free hit in 29 kind of puts it more back into the defensive route that I mentioned earlier. So this is kind of the sensible way that I would play my chips. Opportunistic here is another way that you could deploy your FPL chips. I've got game week 25 as a bench boost because with the blanks for Liverpool in game week 26, it's going to be kind of tough to like maneuver, and then you're going to have to try and get Liverpool players out your team so you don't blank too much. But in game week 25, there are a lot of good fixtures for your other FPL teams. So you don't really want to be benching like an Ollie Watkins, a Dominic Solanke. They both have good fixtures that week as well. Spurs have a good fixture. So that would kind of mean that you could load up on City, load up on Liverpool, bench boost, not have to worry about any benching dilemmas. That's why it would be opportunistic here. Game week 31, that's the week after Man City Arsenal, like I mentioned earlier. So then if you did want to avoid all of the Man City Arsenal assets, you could just load up on them for the final 6 to 7 game weeks here. Get 3 Man City, 3 Arsenal. You know what you need to do there. Triple captain in game week 34, and then free hit in 37. You could also just flip those, triple captain in game week 37, free hit in game week 34 if that is better for you. But yeah, the opportunistic way would be bench boost in game week 25. Kind of then you don't have any benching dilemmas despite some of your players having good fixtures for that single game week. Nothing wrong with using your bench boost with single game week players that have good fixtures. The aggressive way to play your chips this season, I think, would be to free hit in game week 25. This way you could get Holland, KDB, Phil Foden, Trent, Salah, Jota, Ivan Toney. It would be Flecken. You could have Becker, Ederson, whoever, or I guess it would be Flecken because you wouldn't want to use your Man City or Liverpool 3 spots on a goalkeeper. But that would mean you don't really have to worry about, you could work towards getting Liverpool players out of your team over the next few game weeks. So you don't have to worry about their blank in 26 or potentially their blank in 29. Then you wild card in 30, bring in the Liverpool players back if you can go without them for that run. That would be advisable. And then you can get Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool assets for the run in of the season. You bench boost in 34 because that's as close as you can get to your wild card in 30, and then you triple captain in game week 37. So this is kind of the aggressive way to play your chip. So let me go over all of these one more time. So the defensive way to play your chips would be game week 25, triple captain, game week 29, free hit, game week 34, wild card, and game week 37, bench boost. Sensible way, game week 25, triple captain again. Game week 33 is when you would use your wild card. Then you would bench boost afterwards in game week 34. And then game week 37 would be your free hit chip. Opportunistic, you bench boost in 25 so you don't have to worry about the single game week benching dilemmas. You'd wild card in 31 after the Man City Arsenal game. 34 would be the triple captain. 37 is the free hit, but you could flip those last two chips there. And then aggressive would be free hit in 25. So you can bring in triple Brentford, Liverpool, Man City, wild card in 30 to after the two blanks. Game week 34 would be your bench boost as close to your wild card as possible. And game week 37 would be your triple captain. So the best week to use each chip, in my opinion, would be triple captain game week 25, Erling Haaland double game week, Salah's likely to double game week. Wild card and 33, you're setting your team up for the biggest double game week here. Bench boost and 34, you'd have several doublers in the biggest double game week. Free hit in 37, capitalize on late season trends. That's kind of what I would be thinking about. This is where my head is at right now on Thursday, January 18th. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the video, obviously. But yeah, in the comments below, let me know when you're thinking about using your triple captain, your wild card, your bench boost, and your free hit. That would be greatly appreciated, as I would not be just kind of getting tunnel vision, and I'm always looking for other strategies to use these chips. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the FPL chip strategy preview. Hopefully it kind of rattled around in your brain, made you think about some other things. Like and subscribe to the podcast. Like I said, let me know what your strategies are for the remainder of the season in terms of your transfers. Hold off on those game week 22 transfers right now. As you saw, plenty of information coming our way before that deadline on January 30th. But once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening on the podcast side, and I will talk to you next time.